Hello and welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started, and I just want to start with a very startling statistic. Across 98 conferences and 23,000 speakers, only 30% were women. 70% of speakers are men, and men outnumbered women in invited speaker opportunities on a 2-to-1 ratio. So as we kick off our conversation today, and I look out into this room of incredibly talented women, I have to ask the question: if you had 5 minutes on stage, what would you want people to understand, rethink, and remember? My name is Shelby Bybee, and I'm the owner of Beehive Coaching and Consulting. I've spent over 20 years in the leadership development space, and I've trained hundreds of people on effective presentations and on executive presence. And I'm here with the powerful women behind the Podium Project, Sheana Hamill and Kristine Gentry, and I'd like to allow them to introduce themselves as well. Sheana?
Thank you, Shelby. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It's so wonderful to see so many familiar faces, but also new faces, so I'm really looking forward to meeting you all after the session ends. Don't be shy, come say hello, and feel free to send me a link to the connection request. So I'm Sheana Hamill. I am one of the co-founders of Podium Project. I left corporate America about 4 years ago, not by choice, and I was at the peak of my career as a chief marketing officer, and sort of had to pivot into fractional consulting work out of necessity. I had to pay bills, I had kids, all the things, right? And I realized very quickly that my lack of visibility for myself was hurting my prospects at job search and all of the things that I was trying to do. So I kind of naturally went into creating a community of women. I started organizing these events over the last few years, and in fact, I just looked at the number of women who come through my events, and it's been 350 women have come through all my events, which is
well done.
Very organic. And so that then actually informed me as I was having these incredible conversations with women who were sharing not only their personal journeys, but their professional journeys, that those stories were nowhere to be found beyond this conversation we were having. And so I started a LinkedIn Live series called Womenthology, where I bring women on, a woman a month. I interview them. Some of them I had to bring them on kicking and screaming. Others were much more willing. So Podium Project is sort of an extension of all this work that I've been doing, my passion, and kind of the intersection of my experience with marketing, branding, visibility, all of the things. So it's just been a wonderful journey.
Thank you so much, Sheana. And Kristine, welcome.
Thank you, and thank you also everyone for being here. I'm really glad y'all are here today. So I am actually a cultural anthropologist by training. I started my career in academia. I transitioned into consulting, where I helped organizations improve their culture so their employees can enjoy what they do, which benefits the business. I decided a couple of years ago after a layoff to start my own consulting firm, and when I did that, same as Sheana, I was like, I don't have a brand. Nobody knows what I do. I've been working all this time, building things for other people, so to get my name out there and let people know what I do, I need to speak. And so I joined some groups with other women, and we were all facing the same issues about how do we get on stages, and knowing the statistics are stacked against us, knowing you need all these assets, but knowing that speaking is the fastest way to increase visibility and to increase opportunity. I was like, I want to do something about this. I have to do something about it personally, but Maybe not just for me, maybe for other women. So that's how kind of the seed was planted for Podium Project, and we'll talk more about that. But
Thank you, ladies. And just for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Podium Project is a speaker visibility platform which helps women shape their message, build their speaker brand, as both Kristine and Sheana have acknowledged, and step into bigger opportunities. And ladies, this is just an incredible way for you to gain visibility as entrepreneurs. And so we're going to continue to challenge your thinking as we go through. We're going to start with a little bit of a panel, and then we're going to have some interaction as we go. So, we appreciate you being here today and being gathered around this conversation that matters, which is around women's visibility, thought leadership, and power of speaking. So we're going to start, again, by having a little bit of a panel discussion about the importance of visibility and why visibility matters. And so I'm going to start by asking Kristine a question. Kristine, why did you create the Podium Project? I know you've just spoken a little bit about that, but tell us what gap you see out there with women and why this is so important.
so there's kind of two lenses. There's the practical piece of, to get on stage, you need a bunch of assets. They're very expensive to get independently. So we decided if we pull a group of women together and combine resources, we can do it for a more cost-effective way. That's how Podium Project started. But there's also the aspect of, we need more women everywhere where all the important decisions are being made. Because when decisions are made without us, they have negative impacts on us. There was a recent-ish, I found out about it before Podium Project, so maybe it's a little bit older, but studies showed that women are 70% more likely than men to be seriously injured in a car accident, because car safety studies until recently were done on the average male body. We are also more likely to have surgeries go wrong, especially with male surgeons. If you need a surgery, get a female surgeon. The statistics show. Seriously, statistics show you are more likely to be successful. We know birth rates, or maternal mortality, especially in Houston, especially for Black and brown women, is abysmal. It is not okay. So there are so many, I'm so passionate about all these areas where we need more women. And speaking helps us get visibility, helps us get in the room where all these important decisions are made, whether it's the boardroom, the C-suite, politics, just being on the stage in the conferences. How many conferences have you gone to where you sat through a whole panel of men and talking about things? I mean, a friend of mine did a really big leadership program in DC, and she was very excited about it. All these women from all over the country were there. And she sent us the list. She was excited about the list, the agenda. And it was like all men telling the women, I couldn't believe it. So we've got to do this. And putting ourselves out there and saying, no, we speak too, and I can speak on these things, and having assets and supporting each other, hiring each other, I think it's so important, so important.
Thank you so much. Those statistics are startling. I had no idea. And I do agree. It's so interesting how just that visibility piece can shape so much more in our lives. And so I'm going to turn to Sheana and ask, why do you think speaking is such a powerful strategy for visibility, especially for entrepreneurs, consultants, and executive women who are in transition? Because we've all, you've said it, and I think all three of us have been there, and I'm, looking out to this audience and assuming there's a lot of women out there who fit that mold. So tell us why.
Yeah. I'm just gonna roll with it.
Water has mind of seven.
Yeah, it's so interesting because when we first started this, we knew that speaking is the fastest path to cash in a lot of different aspects, right? Like for one, you can get paid to speak. All of you can get paid to speak.
Yes, ladies.
There's so much out there in terms of conferences, companies hiring speakers to come in. There's a huge market. The second piece is, I don't think, and we underestimated this even with our first cohort, the Podium Project, there were so many women who came from different paths. Some were entrepreneurs who have been very kind of head down in their business and building and growing their business. They were ready to take a step back and do legacy work. They were really looking to inspire the new generation. They were looking to use their platform more for business development and kind of that scaling piece. We had women just who had left or were exited or pushed out of corporate America that were kind of like, okay, what next? Because, you know, and I was there, like I had left corporate and I had done all these speaking engagements on behalf of the brands I represent, or at sales kickoffs, at what have you, like large things. I had nothing to speak of it. I had no photos, I had no video, I had no proof points. And so many women are at that point where there are no proof points to show like all this real lived experience that you have, that unfortunately for women, we are required to have those proof points, whereas a lot of times men are hired either for potential or through a very close relationship. I'm not saying all the time, but that's generally how it goes. And so we even had one of our speakers was sponsored by her company to do Podium Project.
Wow.
Because they realized that it was much more cost effective, and she brought her whole team in the day of the conference, made it very much like a team building activity. Like there are so many use cases for this. And you legitimately, cash is wonderful, as we all know, but getting your message out at scale gets you new clients, new partners. It really allows for people to have come to you, approach you for those conversations. So it's really, it's a mindset shift to really get started.
I think that's an important point, because I don't know if you are familiar with this statistic, that the number one fear is the fear of speaking in public. Do you know what? Number 5 is death. Do you know what that means? That means that people would rather die than get up on stage and give a presentation. And so, Kristine, I'm going to turn to you and ask the all-important question. What do you hear from women who want to speak? They have a message they want to share, but they don't feel like they're ready yet. How can Podium Project help them?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways. And women have come to us in all different stages. So there have been women who are like, I really want to talk. I don't know what I want to talk about. I don't know if I have anything to say that anyone would care about. And I very fully believe that we all have a story to tell, and we all probably have a story we need to tell. Like, we can learn so much from each other if we share our experiences and maybe keep people from going through the same things we did. So that's not true. If you're not sure what you would talk about, that's actually what we're going to talk about a little bit today, how you think about what you can talk about. The other is some people are like, oh, I can talk about anything, and I want to talk, and get me on the stage. But if you're in that space, nobody's going to know what they can hire you for, right? So we've really had people who are all over this place, and we have to help them narrow in. And then, there are people who are like, I don't know why talking might help me. I don't think that's not for me. That's not where I am in my career. I've definitely had someone who said, oh, y'all are all more experienced. I'm not as experienced as you. She was young, right? She was like, you're all old, and I don't have anything to say. And I was like, no. You do. You have a lot to talk about to people your age, right? Like, so we would love to have more younger women going through Podium Project and sharing their stories and teaching their peers, right? So I think everyone has a story. I think if you don't know where to start, we're going to actually do an activity that will help you figure out where to start. And if you're doing any kind of, if you're doing your own business, whether it's on the side or full time, you should be speaking. It doesn't have to just be paid. You can buy, build, or book. You can get booked as a speaker. You can buy a stage where you're sponsoring an event, and then you get to talk to your target audience. That's a great way to convert and to connect to a lot of ideal clients quickly. And then you can also build your own stage, like today. Do a webinar, like we built Podium Project. Join with people. This all came together because of not a handful, a group of women saying, hey, let's do this thing, and here we all are. So yeah, I think everyone can speak, everyone should be speaking. And then the other thing that Sheana mentioned, we all need to be recording and taking pictures and publicizing when you do speak. And that part, even our Podium Project speakers, some of them are doing great using their assets, and some of them are not. And we keep trying to encourage them, like, you should be posting before you go talk, the day of your talk, the after the talk. Like, if you want to be known as a speaker, share it. And we, looking around, if you're around my age, we didn't come up in the workforce documenting all the things we did. We're not used to that. But we've got to try to get used to it. And maybe we need to help each other out. Maybe we need to, when you're in the audience, be taking pictures of people on stage and share it. We just had a wonderful event on Sunday, and I was only in the group picture because I never stop and go, I don't want to be in the pictures, but you got to be in the pictures. So.
Thank you. Yes, and I think that's a good opportunity to give a quick shout to Ann in the back of the room. Ann, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Ann is an Emmy Award-winning producer. She is here to help us capture this incredible moment on camera. So thank you so much, Ann. She's been here all day setting up and just been an incredible asset to us today. So Kristine mentioned that we're going to do an activity that's going to help you to think about what it is you might say if you had the mic. So there are some index cards in the middle of your table, including some pins. We have 4 prompts that you can see on the screen here, and we're going to give you 5 minutes to, Kristine will read them out loud. We're going to give you 5 minutes. We're going to give you, oh, I know. If you're anything like me, I'm like glasses on, glasses off, glasses on, glasses off.
I'll read them to you.
Kristine is going to read you the prompts. We're going to have 5 minutes to record your thoughts on the prompts, and then we'll let you share with the partners. So, Kristine?
Okay, so the first one is, what is something that you know now that you wish more people understood? So this is kind of a topic. What is something that you would like to talk about, that you have experience, that you could share? This can be very personal. It can be, motivational, work, whichever. So something you know now that you wish more people knew. Number 2 is an experience, lesson, or perspective that people often come to you for. Number 3 is who needs to hear this message? Who would you talk to? And then number 4 is what might be possible if more people heard you speak about this? What are the opportunities you can get? So, number 1, now you're kind of thinking, what is your talk, right? Number 1 is, what do you wish more people knew something about? What is something you wish more people knew about? So this is like your topic, right? Number 2 is what experience or lesson or perspective. So topic, lesson. Number 3 is who needs to hear the message? Who would you talk to? Number 4 is what might be possible if more people heard you speak about this. In the activity, we're going to have you give you 5 minutes now to answer these questions for yourself. Then you'll share with them here. So we're going to
be quiet, let you think, and if you need to get up, feel free to get up and check out the screen. Move around the room if you need to.
Or get more pizza or drinks.
Or get more pizza and drinks. All right? There's pizza again in the kitchen for those of you who've just come in, and there's also drinks in there as well. There's a cooler of soda and some water as well.
And you can go through around the back or just through these doors.
All right, so you have 5 minutes. Just coming in, there's pizza over here in the kitchen, and there's drinks. And we're doing an activity.
got about 3.5 minutes left.
We have about
2 minutes left. We have about 1.5 minutes left.
Take just another minute to finish up, and if you are finished, we'll take just another minute to finish up, and then we're going to share. I want to make sure everybody's got time. All right, ladies, we're going to go ahead and allow you the opportunity to share. So feel free to find a partner. Feel free if you want to share with someone at your table. Feel free to stand up, get around the room, and find someone new that you haven't met yet. Is ideal. And you each get 2 minutes to share your responses to these 4 prompts, all right? And then switch. All right, so you've got 5 minutes in total to share your responses to these prompts with some partner in the room. All right? down a group of women together, give them the opportunity to connect. I love it. So we would love if anyone is open to sharing their perspective. Yes, I see your hand in the back of the room. Stand up, girl, and own it.
Hi, my name is Alicia. I use she, her pronouns. And my thing that I wish that someone had told me is go to school, major in something lucrative, save and retire at 40 to 45, and then go work for a nonprofit or a cause that is really important to you because you'll have that wealth, you'll have that security, but then you can still have a job and benefits and healthcare and be doing something you love. So.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. I love that. I saw another hand over here. Yes, in the pink, beautiful blouse.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Ashley Sutton, founder of Hustle and Cope, and we are a stationery company. Okay, so the first one is I want to tell people about building a brand versus selling products. And the thing that resonated with me is people have often told me for my own company, this is a really cool product, how thoughtful, I've never seen anything like it. And then who is it for? It's for small business owners. It's for entrepreneurs that are starting product-based businesses, or it's not even product-based, it could be anything. And then lastly, I really want the outcome for people to build more intentional products versus more stuff for us to consume.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your willingness to share. So we've got a lot of things to say. We just need to be courageous enough to share them, right? Do we have one more woman who'd like to? Yes, right here. Thank you.
Hi. Okay. What I would want to talk about is facing your fears. When you face your fears, you learn to trust and believe in yourself. And I believe that everyone should hear that particular story from me. My facing of my fears came from my dad and him pushing me to do something that I was very afraid of. Basically, walking across our roof to help put trash bags over our air conditioning units to prepare for the winter.
Oh, wow.
And I was about 7 years old, and the first thing I said to him when he put me on the roof was, "Daddy, I'm afraid of heights." And he was like, "Well, don't look down then." And I've spent my whole life telling myself that every time I've gotten afraid. And I believe once they hear the full speech, they would strengthen the confidence in themselves and to know that once you face your fear, it actually disappears and it has no power over you.
Yes, thank you. I think that's a great one to end on because again, that number one fear is about getting up in front of an audience and speaking. And so we all have so much knowledge in this room and so much to say. So thank you for your willingness to share a little piece of who you are with us. And we're going to continue the panel conversation because we would love to help you understand how to take these incredible ideas and turn them into speaking opportunities. And so I'm going to just ask another quick question of our panelists, and then we'll open it up to a Q&A if you have some questions that you'd like to ask Kristine and Sheana. All right, so I'm going to ask Sheana first. What makes a good speaking topic different from a general area of expertise?
Yeah, that's an interesting one because there's two sides to this, right? Like we have seen, to Kristine's earlier point, where women come to us, and typically all of us, we don't have one thing to talk about, we have 25 things we can talk about, right? Not only professional accomplishments and experiences, but personal lived experiences and just things we're passionate about. Not all those things are going to be commercial. So I think you really have to take a good look at what your goals are. And so, if it's something that you want to share, something, very vulnerable, very deep about yourself, that you're hoping to, make a tangible impact on someone, and you're not seeking the cash compensation. Like that's a different motivator, right? So I think you really have to get that level of clarity within yourself. That being said, again, like there's so many speaking opportunities out there. Every like conference or nonprofits are paying. So even if they are very mission driven, speaking opportunities, some of them can still pay. And you also have to put that kind of hat on where you look at payment as like, what is your goal? What is that impact you're trying to make? What is that value exchange, right? So I think it's just really getting clarity around all your paths, all your speaking paths, because there are going to be many, and just starting with one. Starting is the hardest part. And just know you can evolve from that one. You're not married to it. You can add others, you can build on it. So I think that's the advice I would give. It's just sort of a different lens.
Great, so it's getting clear on what your mission and goal is, and then choosing the topic that really fits that particular outcome that you're seeking. Yes, okay, great. Thank you. And Kristine, I'm curious, what are common mistakes that women make when they first think about speaking?
So I think I'm going to kind of build off of what Sheana said, because I think it's connected. Common mistake is not knowing why you want to speak, your goals. What is the end goal? So if you're trying to build your brand, you should be speaking to let people know what it is you do and how you can help them. And you should often be thinking about what you can kind of sell from the stage. What are you trying to get them to do after they listen to you talking? If your goal is you just have this life experience that you want to share because you want people to learn some lesson you learned and not have the same experience, you're a more motivational speaker. Maybe that then is more of a keynote speaker where you're getting paid, but you maybe start, smaller circuits. You start with nonprofits, you start at colleges and universities. So really you have to know why you want to speak, what's the goal, and then narrow your topic from there. There are some topics that are more marketable, so you want to think about that too, think about who your audience is. And so I think sometimes people aren't clear. They know like, oh, I need to speak, there's something I'm going to speak about, but if it's not tied to your business, is that what you should be speaking about? And maybe it's okay. We have a speaker who has a very successful workshop she gives on negotiations, and then she did a TEDx talk recently on a personal topic, and she was just like, I want to do a TEDx talk, and I think this story is more important and meaningful, impactful to get out there into a broader audience, and so I'm going to talk about that. But that will help bring audience, people to her. Like, she's still building her brand, and we encouraged her to do it because her professional brand is she's this very professional woman, and this personal story, I was like, this is actually really cool. People will see kind of both sides of you. So you don't have to only talk about one thing, but you do need to be strategic and thinking about what you're talking about and where you want to try to go. Because the other thing is some people will just say, I want to speak, maybe they apply for different things, but I think you have to have a strategy. You have to have a speaker strategy and think through why you're speaking, what the goal is, and what do you want the outcome to be from each talk you have. Like, maybe it's booking the next talk, maybe it's meeting potential clients, maybe it's, but you really want to think through what is the goal and the reason why you're speaking.
Great, thank you so much. And then back to Sheana, to add to what Kristine has said, then help me understand how you helped women, take this, I have a lot to talk about, idea, and evolve it into a presentation ready 5 to 7 minute TEDx type talk where they are actually up on stage delivering their message. What is that journey for the woman?
Yeah, that was a really interesting piece that we learned through doing Podium Project. So the 12 women we put on stage in February, some of them did have their talks, they had their topics, some didn't know what they were going to talk about. So we spent a lot of time coaching, one-on-one coaching, group coaching, to kind of distill down to that one message, and then help them build their talk, to building their slides, to literally the full life cycle of getting them on stage. And so we realized through that experience that even though, you know, some of these women, they're willing, they're ready, they're willing to take this risk, we have to kind of meet them where they are. So we brought in a lot of different offerings and elements to help women where they are. So, for example, we do workshops now where we help you distill down your message to one message. We help you develop your talk. If you don't have a brand, you know, that was something really clear in this first cohort. Some women had beautiful polished slides, others did not. Well, guess what? We can help you build your brand. We can help you launch your website. There's all these pieces that we can help you do depending on where you are and depending on what you want, right? So, and this sort of grew, this demand kind of grew organically from us doing Podium Project. So I would say we are just trying to meet you wherever you are.
I love that. Thank you so much. And one final question, Kristine, to wrap up our panel discussion before we open it up to a Q&A. What is one simple step that anyone in this room can take in the next week to gain greater visibility?
In the next week, I would say, I'm gonna be a little, share a post on social media, whichever your platform is, wherever you think your audience is. So some people are like, my potential clients are on LinkedIn, some are on Instagram, some are wherever. You don't have to post to all the platforms, but wherever you think your audience is, post whatever. You could, this is where I was like, I'm doing a little self-serving. You could post that you're here today. You could share a picture, share pictures of events you go to. Just, it doesn't have to be perfect or polished. I think we all, like, video does so good, and most people don't want to post a video themselves. So someone told me once, record it and post it, period. Like, don't sit there and play it back, don't edit, just make it quick and simple and clean, and not clean, messy. Messy is fine, show who you really are. So I would encourage you to, if you want to increase visibility, post something on social media, but sort of try to document. And personally, I have to post it and not think about, like, some people go, but what if, you know, people are going to talk about it, they're going to say something, they're going to do it. Who cares? Like, if you have a reason for wanting to be visible, which we really all should, post, and don't worry about what anyone negative is going to say, because there will be plenty of people who like what you have to say and who will support you and be encouraging, and, you know, we can all connect and support each other and like each other, and I think that's really important. These kind of get-togethers where you connect and network, and then sharing on each other's posts. Like, when you see someone you know post something, like it, even if sometimes I don't have time to read your post or watch your video, but I'm still gonna always like it if I see it. So we need to do that for each other, and a lot of people don't, but it is helpful. That's a really easy way to help support your friends and your network too.
Great, yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for that. And so we're going to open it up now for you. Who has the first question? Yes, here in the front row.
Yes, well, amazing panel.
Thank you.
Learning a lot. So we work with software.
Sorry, tell us your name and what you do,
sorry.
please. Yeah, stand up, girl. Own the room. Own it. Own it.
Presentation 101. Alicia Harrington, we work with software and wellness. So we are in the biggest time of our lives. AI is going to change the way we live. Yeah, it's equal to electricity. So one question that I have is for you guys, how is that changing? How is AI reshaping the way you do your work? And what is the impact that you see that we see on all of us? And adding to that two-part question is that you said, okay, post. Early this morning, we have one of our clients who we created an avatar of him, a living avatar that looks just like him. So for people that are not, they're shy to be out and talk, would you recommend that to put themselves out there? With that
Interesting. Okay. So I think as small business owners, AI has helped us tremendously to be able to be far more productive than we would have been on our own. I do think, you have to think about when you need to pay for expertise and experience. We've done some amazing brand work for some clients with the help of a wonderful graphic designer, to me that's worth paying for. But then we took the beautiful designs and we've paid other people to help us build websites. I like that anyways. I know you can do more vibe coding with websites. Currently I'm in the I like to be able to edit and change things. I don't know if that will improve and we'll do a combo of that, but we're not doing that yet. But we do a lot of AI for strategizing, naming, writing, all the things. I just think it's helped a lot. We can be far more productive. And it helps with talks. I mean, you can put in your topic ideas. I mean, we've come up with some and helped speakers come up with great titles from AI, brainstorming using AI, even to come up with some really catchy lines. If you know your talk, you know the message, and you put it in and see what it spits out, sometimes it does give you some really good lines that are memorable. So we've been using that. As far as I think using avatar depends on the person's audience. I think there's some audiences that are gonna really want the person and they want to know who you are. And I think as we have more and more AI showing up as our true selves and being no, I'm the real human who does this work is important and helpful. But it depends on who your clients are and what are their clients and what they're trying to share. What I think we are trying to build and bring to people is that we are humans who can help you and work with you. And being on stage in front of people. Some people have said to me, you don't have to have photographers to do pictures anymore, right? You could probably AI a video of you talking too, but that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna help you when you get to a conference and you need to present in front of people. And they wanna know that you're really presenting in front of people, right? So I think that when we were talking about this too, the experience that the women got from Podium Project, we did so much prep before, but you don't know how you're gonna do when you go to speak in front of 100 people until you do it. And that's something you have to, for a lot of people, repeat over and over and practice to get really good at. And you can only do that by doing, practicing. So,
Can I add to that, if I may? So it's an interesting kind of scenario you laid out, right? I've seen this also with women and men who post AI generated headshots and images and things. I really think, for me, that's not it for me. I don't feel comfortable, but if you feel comfortable with it, it's part of your ecosystem. You go right ahead, right? I do think though, as technology is evolving so fast, and I've been in the SaaS space in my marketing career, and it's evolving at such a crazy pace. There are so many opportunities for just the operationalizing side of things for small businesses. You can build so much faster with AI. You can scale so much faster with AI. There are so many opportunities there. And then also, one thing I would encourage is leverage generative AI to look at your blind spots, to look at your gaps, because naturally, Gen AI is very accommodating. They will agree with everything. They will tell you you're the greatest thing.
That's why I use it, right?
Yeah. And actually, there's been a rise in people using Gen AI as their BFF. Yeah, BFF, where they're telling and everything. But ask it to to identify your gaps and blind spots, and you can do the same with speaking opportunities. You can actually do a ton of research on speaking opportunities through AI. You can get really think through kind of your strategy on what you might want to pursue based on the demand that's out there. And there are so many things that you can do. I think that your level of comfort is what's gonna drive that.
Great, thank you, ladies. Yeah, I see Gabrielle and then Joni, I see you.
Can I borrow your microphone?
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this project. Oh my gosh, my life is not complete. I know you exist. This is great. So I'd love for you to speak on the topic of testimonials and case studies. I am a speaker, I've done done the gamut, and there's so much more to learn. Because I'm now in the study, I'm using AI to study the whole speaker circuit and whatnot. And I've been attending trainings and all the things, and this whole thing about testimonials and case studies keeps coming up. And one statistic in particular, a professional speaker said that event producers, the event planners,
Yeah.
are starting to not believe the content that speakers put out. Because the content is generated by AI.
Yeah.
And they can tell, and they're starting to weed out the people who are using AI generated content to try and get themselves booked. And so then this gentleman says, say again?
I said good.
Yeah. So he said he has a platform that allows people to get testimonials so that the speaker's content is more what other people are saying about the speaker. Rather than the speaker saying, I'm great, the testimonials are saying, the speaker's great, which gives a whole different weight to those words. So if you would speak on that topic and what you've seen, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's, so, that piece is something so valuable because emerging speakers and those of us who left corporate and did all these speaking engagements on behalf of our companies, we leave without ever having any of these testimonials, anything anyone else is saying about us, recorded, and ready to go. And we realize that about up and coming speakers, about emerging speakers. So we made it a point to solicit feedback after each speaker session during, and that was also a big draw for us to get the live audiences placed. And we shared, I want to say 30, 40 pieces of quotes that all our speakers could use in their speaker reels, in their speaker one sheets, on their websites, on LinkedIn, on social media, wherever, right? Like this is legitimate credibility points they can use. And this is something like I talk about also with speakers who maybe pursue opportunities that initially don't pay. I say like there's so many things you can negotiate on the onset, and a testimonial is one of those that immediately you should ask for from the organizer, from participants. If they don't have a vehicle to get audience testimonials, you should create one yourself that you put up, and it could be just as simple as a QR code, whatever it is. But that is going to be so valuable. It just like continuing to do that is also really valuable. So I think you just have to kind of think of it that way. And I agree with you. Like, I mean, even with content generation now, like it's so easy. Like it's so easy to generate content, right? And a lot of it is just noise. Which is why I think like being in a room like this, like how much more likely are you to consume my content now versus before you met me? So like that's the piece I encourage you to think through differently.
Only if it's not AI generated though.
Yeah.
And I want to just explain for people who don't know, because we have a lot of new faces here. What we did with Podium Project was women paid to come and speak. We put on a big event, and they had 5 minutes on stage, and from that, they got a video, their whole 5-minute talk edited with 3 different cameras. They got a sizzle reel, they got testimonials, so after every talk, we had a QR code for the speaker. We gave the audience 5 minutes and asked them to respond and give feedback, answered some questions. And they also got photography, so they were doing a photo shoot backstage before they came out, or maybe after they did their talk. And it was a big event, and we had vendors, and we had lunch, and we had an audience, and it was a really fun, but Kristine was one of our sponsors. Yeah.
It was amazing. It was a really strong event.
Not only did she sponsor, but when we didn't have enough volunteers, some of our volunteers didn't show, I found her working the front desk, like she was helping and doing all the things. She was so great. And if you don't know, Maggie at Sesh Collective now, was kind of the host. We partnered with her to do the event. So yes, the way that we knew testimonies, a lot of times if you're applying to speak, they're asking for testimonials. So it's really important to collect those too. And, making it easy for your audience to give you testimonials is very important as well.
Thank you. And Joni, did you need the microphone?
No, I'm good. I'll use my cheerleading voice.
Yes.
From back in the day. My name is Sheana Hamill. I'm the founder and chief breakthrough officer of JDG Advisors, and we are in the business of helping high-achieving women who have had a lot of success, but they have lost touch with themselves. They're disconnected. So I am curious about one of the things that we as women, we as human beings, I think, don't do well, is celebrate our success.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to hear about the 12 women who went through the Podium Project and what have they gone on to do. I know it was just in February and we're in July, almost August, but I know they've gone on and done amazing things. So I know you all have celebrated them. I think we should still celebrate them
thank
today.
you.
So can you share about that?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I'm not gonna go through all 12, but I'll just give you some highlights. One of our 12 was recently on a TEDx talk. Her name is Lamar Marie Brown. So when her talk comes out, I hope you'll watch it. We want to support her. The more views you get on your TEDx talk, the better you do with it. So she did a TEDx talk. We all went to watch it, and we went to brunch. But she's one who came to us with an old brand. She's been doing this great workshop for a while and had success with her workshop. But as we were putting her assets together, we were like, oh, it just doesn't look as good. You need an updated logo. You need a clear, clean brand. So we did a whole new brand for her, did a website for her, and she has been getting booked. Like, people are coming to her website and booking her for talks. She's booked out till 2027 from just a few months. And she wasn't getting that before we did her website and her brand. Like, she had a great workshop. She just she needed to level up. And she's also, this is another, she wasn't asking for very much for her workshop. She doubled the price the first time. She doubled it again. And no one has said no. She's like, I don't know what the limit is. Like, and she's in a place, she's retired. I mean, her dream, she came to us and said, my goal is to do one talk a month, and I either want it to be in Houston or a cool place I want to go visit, and I'll plan a vacation around it. And that's exactly what she's doing. Like, in a few months, her dream has come true.
She's incredible. She said, my goal is to have 4 vacations a year, and I would love these speaking opportunities to pay for those vacations, like to take me to some exotic places to do them. And she's like so much farther along in this process that we are absolutely thrilled for her. There are so many others. So there's one of our other speakers, so 4 of our speakers came from out of state. We had 3 women come in from California, 1 from Florida, which we were blown away that people would, come all the way here to have this experience. And one of our speakers from California has had so much success. Like, she has been pursuing some really big brands for a while, and after Podium Project, she landed Pinterest. She went and spoke at Pinterest. She has really launched her coaching career on the back of Podium Project. Just the other day, she actually emailed us saying, even with her speaker one, she has probably done outreach to like close to 200 people using that PDF. Like, having these assets, it's so convenient to like position yourself in whatever way, right? Because there's so many different formats you have as well. And so the speaker reel, that's typically a 1 to 3 minute kind of highlight of you speaking, tells a little bit of a story, it's fully branded. That's another asset that, you know, several of our particularly paid speakers, because another one, Lorinda, she booked a big keynote that she just did, I think about a month ago. Like, it's just been incredible. We have a WhatsApp group that we share successes with each other. We, you know, share things that we want more amplification for or support from each other. Kristine and I, personally, whenever we see something that they haven't shared for themselves, we will highlight it there. So we really try to make a point of doing that, and I so agree with you. Like, we have to celebrate, and personally, I would encourage that of each of you, because sometimes, you know, we are really good about lifting other women up, but we are terrible at our inner narrative and what we tell ourselves. Celebrate all the damn things, right? Like,
And I would add, like, share it with the people who can celebrate you. We tell our women all the time, please share when you book something. We want to celebrate. We want to go be there for you. We want to, you know, cheer you on if we can't be there in person. If it's a Zoom webinar, we try to attend when we can. But a lot of them don't. Like, we don't want to, I don't know why we feel so uncomfortable sharing about what we're doing. But this isn't even like, hey, look how great I did. It's, I booked a talk. Like, let's share the talk. So share with your people. And that's why I said you should be doing, if you're doing any events, speaking, whatever you do in your field, you're going to a conference, post about it. Let people know that you're doing things, because then you increase your visibility. And we also had hosted a speaker both at Podium Project, and Sheana had him at an event here, Keith Dorsey, who does all his work around helping get more women on boards. And he wrote a wonderful book about more women on boards.
yeah, it's a boardroom journey. He specifically did his PhD work on getting more women and more diversity on boards.
And part of his message is that it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. So that visibility piece is so important, and that's why we share it. Tell people, I'm doing these things. Even if you're manifesting, I'm a speaker. I'm a keynote speaker on my Podium Project, on my LinkedIn. Like, put the things out there that you are pitching yourself for.
Yeah. I think the important point, yeah, that quote, Keith's quote, has really stayed with me, because now what you know and who you know are table stakes, right? Like, that piece, everyone has it. It's who knows you is the differentiator.
Yeah, I love that. We have time for, I see 2 more questions in the back of the room, and then we'll wrap it up. So, Jasmine, I see.
Yeah, I just wanted to share a couple of points about the state. So my name is Jasmine, I'm from Texas, and this has been so exciting to be with everyone. I just wanted to give you all a little bit of the landscape of the state. So I always tell people the state is both incredible and a hot mess at the same time. But there's tons of economic growth happening here. What I would tell you as a statewide network of, and we're over 70 cities, we are on the ground and hear all the conversations happening in big cities and small. I can tell you there's a ton of economic growth happening in the state, but as women, we can't wait for the invite. We have to go after it. And so Texas right now has more Fortune 500 companies in the state than any other. And what that means is executive summits, employee resource groups, lunch and learn. So please understand that there's tons of companies bringing their HQs here. Will we be invited to come to the HQs? Maybe, but what I would ask you is that we have to actually take the lead of that. So lots of opportunities from that perspective. Even the debut of our own Wall Street here. If you're in the financial sector, those conversations are here. So just want to make sure you guys are all plugged in. And a big thing that happens in our network is collaboration. I just was on a call this week where someone who works in New York Life, she does financial classes, is partnering with a woman that teaches, she's a chef. And so they're now putting together a really cool program where there's going to be a mixture of teaching how to make food and then also talking about finances. So definitely take advantage of collaborating with each other too. Don't feel like you have to do it on your own. Sometimes you can actually maybe even get more traction by partnering with another speaker or businesswoman who maybe doesn't have, has a skill set or expertise that you don't have. I think that's a huge opportunity. A lot of us are still working in silos and still trying to operate even the impetus of this weekend is all of our groups coming together, which is just so great. Yes, we can do it on our own, but how amazing for us, all three of our organizations. Last night, for those that joined us at Lindy's Ladies, and today at Sesh, the Podium Project. So excited to learn about the work you all are doing. And then tomorrow, we're kind of ending with some World Cup, watching the World Cup and stuff. So collaboration, don't feel like you have to do it yourself too. But Texas is a place of growth and opportunity. The biggest lesson I've learned starting this group is that we cannot wait for an invitation to the table. We often have to create it ourselves.
Great.
That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just something to be aware of, that there is tons of economic growth out here, but you can't wait for it.
Thank you. Thank you. One final question or comment? Yes.
So good afternoon, and yes, absolutely, thank you. Thank you, Stephanie, for inviting me. And it wasn't me, and I didn't pay her, so I'm curious as to who it was in your life. So I'm brought to the party. In your life, I absolutely agree with you. The relationship don't is so important. The question I have is this: I'm a little odd, I guess you would say. So I have this very corporate side of me, you know, the New York life and all that. However, I have this other side of me, the Wayne concert, going to the UK concert, doing all these things with my kids. How do I marry that? I want to be authentic to who I am, but I'm concerned about, am I alienating certain audiences and certain people? And when I present my brand, how much do I pull in about that? You know, I have a brother who passed away, a young brother passed away from a drug overdose. And I'm okay telling her about that, but some people are like, oh my gosh, she was on drugs, that's his fault. So how do I mesh all that together?
So, if you are comfortable with telling the story, like that is the piece you have to really get clarity on. Some people are not there yet, and it turns someone off. Those are not your people. You have to come to terms with, you're not for everybody, and everybody's not gonna be for you.
People pleaser, I'll work on that.
Now, as a speaker, I think it depends on what is your goal from speaking. If you're doing some professional corporate talk and the goal is to be very professional because you're trying to get clients for something and that is the you that they need to see only, then that's what you do. But if you're like, I'm trying to get clients and I want them to know who I am too, bring in all of you. Like that's fine. If you can't, if you feel like, you know what, I can do this, I can still get the goal that I have, and maybe you're even more successful with the goal because you really identify your people by being who you are. Like if we're all the same cookie cutter professional person and don't let any of ourselves show, how do we connect with people? Like one of my favorite speakers who I will never forget. Molly, it was that Amplify Women of Color. It was Shahara Burrell. She comes out dancing, and her start is dancing, and I mean, she was like, come on, she was just like having a party, and I was like, oh, she's good. She hadn't even said a word, and I was just into the talk, and it made me, I adore her now. So I think when you said that, I was like, yeah, bring in the music, bring in who you are, have fun. And we're all multifaceted, right? We're all more than just the professional.
They're just humans too.
Yeah.
It's less than you think, it's less than you know. Yeah. Well, good, thank you.
I want to weigh in on your question and your comments, because that was so spot on. I'm a marketer, I'm Sheana from the Marketing Association, and in marketing we say that people do business with people you know, like, and trust. You don't do business with a corporation, you do business with that person across the table or at the networking event or at the golf tournament that you know, like, and trust. So that visibility, that credibility, it certainly adds to the proof points, but it's really about having a human connection. And even in marketing, we do B2B marketing, and you know, there is like all that technical and all that explanation and all the numbers, but you have to get to the heart, right? You've got to get to the heart of the person who's reading it. You've got to attract their attention. You've got to get their trust, and then they'll be willing to listen and they want to know about the insurance and the finance or whatever it is that you're offering. But it's really about that human connection. So,
Thank you, Sally.
Thank you so much, Sally. It's so So grateful that each and every one of you chose to spend your time with us here today. And I just want to acknowledge and recognize the people here who were able to make it happen. So first again, just Kristine Gentry and Sheana Hamill from Podium Project. Let's give them a hand, please. I'd also like to acknowledge Jasmine Brand with Her Texas. I know she gave a little bit of information there, but Her Texas, I highly recommend you connect with Her Texas. They're an organization that is driving revenue and tracking it with women, female founders, and business owners. So they have a signature event that they are running called Fork and Femme. I encourage you to get to know a little bit more about that. We're hosting again in collaboration with Jasmine and Her Texas, an event tomorrow afternoon at 801 Travis from 3 to 6 p.m. Everyone is welcome to join us. It's going to be another women's networking event where we are going to have light bites, we're going to have drinks, we're going to have fun, we're going to have soccer, we're going to have party. It's going to be cool. So show up if you have the opportunity and time. And then I want to acknowledge Molly with Amplify Women of Color. So Molly played a significant role again in helping to bring this particular event together today here at Sesh. I want to acknowledge Sesh. Maggie Cedric is not here right now, but this is her space and she's heavily involved in the community, so I highly recommend you connect with Maggie and Sesh. And then I again just want to acknowledge Ann Hill for being our photographer and our fantastic producer. I'm Shelby, Bybee, Beehive Coaching and Consulting. Please feel free to use the QR code to connect with any and all of us through LinkedIn and start, again, posting, liking. If you're connected to us, we will love your stuff and will help support you in getting the visibility that you need and deserve. So thank you so much for being here today. We hope you've enjoyed it.